Hello!
We're here!
Haha!
Yes!
Welcome to Sidewalk Slam, our podcast.
I like it when you point at the
video.
sign.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. The sign.
God, 4 weeks of that.
So much pointing at the sign. Sidewalk Slam, or looks like some sort of Sidewalk Slam, is our wrestling podcast where we try to look at the positives in wrestling, and we're focusing on a storyline and narrative perspective. Trying to look at the positives.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I am going to be more positive. Not that you're going to be like shitting all over everything,
No.
but I feel like this will be a good discussion.
Well, right now we're talking about, or this episode is Fastlane 2017, which is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. 28 days before the ultimate thrill ride is their tagline for this year of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was not especially sports entertained on this evening.
I think my final verdict was decidedly mediocre.
Yeah, it just was sort of a.
The wrestling was good. Some of the storyline or booking decisions, I guess, is what you would call them, were questionable.
Yeah, I have
Not
some.
just odd.
I have some big questions about like why I wouldn't have done certain things certain ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get right into it.
Well, what? I just want to. What happened? Was Fastlane last year really bad? Is it just been not a good show?
It wasn't great.
I can't even remember what happened last year.
I remember that Eva Marie was the poster.
Yeah, that's right. And Roman Reigns was doing something in the main event.
Let me look it up.
Because he had to fight somebody.
Yeah.
To get into the main event of WrestleMania, right? At Fastlane. He did that 2 years in a row. He did the 2 years ago against Daniel Bryan in 2015. Right. And then last year he fought somebody else, I think. Because he ended up in that main event.
Right. Because it was a triple threat between Roman, Dean, and Brock.
Right. That's what it was.
To determine the number one contender.
Yeah, and then Roman pinned Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, Fastlane doesn't have a real great track record. No. I remember the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match being really good. But, yeah. I don't know, man. Well, we'll see. Let's get into the show. I really want to talk about it with you because we don't converse a lot about the shows.
No. I mean, you mentioned that you thought it was pretty mediocre, and I was like, nah. I mentioned that Kathleen's reaction to one point was boo, 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 boo.
That's pretty funny.
So yeah.
We try to keep like our discussion in here.
Yeah.
This is our safe place, Graham.
Yeah.
This is where we can talk.
This is where we talk about our opinions about wrestling and we share them with you. So yeah, on the kickoff show, if anyone's interested, Rich Swann and Cruiserweight Division newcomer Akira Tozawa defeated Noam Dar and Brian Kendrick. Neat.
Okay. Akira Tozawa.
Super over, by the way.
Why have we just devolved our wrestling, like what gets popular in wrestling? Because it's gone from we had and then now we have 10, and now we just have because Akira Tozawa just
chants
that's it.
And the crowd loves it.
The crowd fucking loves it. He did it in the Cruiserweight Classic, and he was more of he was kind of screaming there almost. But Akira Tozawa also has this sweet, like, Kill Bill, the theme song to Kill Bill entrance. It's awesome.
It's really cool.
Dig it, yeah.
It was really cool.
In that feud, though, it was mainly Brian Kendrick. It was mainly to fuel Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa. I actually didn't watch the pre-show match, but this storyline, this mini storyline that's playing out where Akira Tozawa was debuting, and then Brian Kendrick was like, "Oh, he's my best friend. Like, we're best friends.
Yeah.
We dig each other." And the commentary would constantly bring up, like, he's not even acknowledging you. Like, it's like, oh, no, he's just busy with the match, you know? Like, and now, eventually, Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick are kind of, like, coming to words. Akira was like, "I'm not your friend."
Yeah. Where did you get this idea?
Yeah. It's pretty, I think it's pretty great as, like, a sub-story, like a little, kind of just a little storyline for the Cruiserweight division. It's fun. Yeah, I like it.
The first match on the main card is Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe.
God damn.
So,
We talked a little bit about Samoa Joe last time, right?
Yeah, because he debuted on the Raw after the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Because Seth Rollins was out there demanding to see Triple H.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe showed up as Triple H's muscle, basically. Someone he brought up from NXT. Samoa Joe was the destroyer, was Triple H's destroyer, basically.
Yeah.
So that when Triple H got that promo about Triple H in NXT seeing himself as a creator,
Yeah.
and that Seth Rollins said would have to meet the destroyer, we assumed that was going to be Triple H's sort of like alter ego, kind of, like the game.
Yeah.
And it's actually Samoa Joe,
yeah.
who showed up, beat the crap out of Rollins, legitimately injured his knee,
Yeah.
but it's suspected that he will be back for WrestleMania.
I think it's like he's going to be back.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, they're going ahead with it.
Yeah. And then, so he's basically Triple H's sort of, hired muscle, but he's really good in that role because he's a bruiser.
Oh, he's awesome. Samoa Joe has been one of the best parts of Raw.
Yeah.
Like, just the way that he's being presented and he just slots into that roster so well.
Yeah.
It's been seamless. It's been like, here's Samoa Joe, and we're all like, okay.
I get it.
Like, yeah, understand.
So there was, on the following episode, I think it was the next episode after his debut, there was an interview with Michael Cole, and...
he did one of those like sit-down interviews with Michael Cole.
Yeah, and Samoa Joe just sort of like idly, like in passing, refers to himself as, not just some Sami Zayn who's happy to be here.
Yeah.
He's here on this roster to, to like get wins and hurt people and, dominate the roster.
Yeah.
And then Sami Zayn's like, hey, the hell, man?
It was great because I think it was that same episode where Sammy fought Chris Jericho, and he beat Chris Jericho in a non-title match.
Yeah.
And after that match, Sami Zayn was like, I'm not here.
They're like on the ramp.
Yeah, he's on the ramp. It was awesome. It was a
Yeah.
great interview. And he's like, I'm not just happy to be here, right?
I heard what Samoa Joe said.
Yeah.
And then Joe attacks him from behind on the ramp.
It was great.
And so that sets
Because it's like,
this up.
it's funny too whenever Sammy's like the next couple of weeks, like Joe attacks Sammy a couple more times, and it's always when Sammy says Samoa Joe, like he's the candy man. But he only says his name once, and you can hear Joe like, you just said my name, like, do not say my name ever again. It's like, oh, damn. It's pretty funny. It made me laugh.
He's just sitting in the back, watching that TV at a weird angle like they always do. And Sammy says Samoa Joe, and he's like,
oh, man.
run out there and club him.
Yeah. Yeah.
This match was a delight to watch.
It was awesome.
In terms of the athleticism on display in the ring.
Are you worried that Sami Zayn is just going to become a Dolph Ziggler?
Like
is what the worry
enhancement talent?
Yeah, in the internet wrestling community, everyone's worried that Sami Zayn is just relegated to, he always kind of just loses.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that underdog quality going for him. I mean, Raw needs good guys.
Yeah, we don't have a lot.
Because they've got Rollins, kinda, and Reigns, kinda. And now I guess kinda,
Jericho?
sorta Jericho now.
I think Jericho
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
In terms of the top levels?
Yeah. I think
you need Sami Zayn.
I think that they will do something with him, but I don't know what. I'm hoping anyway. But I think he's very good. He's never coming away, in my eyes, maybe in other people's eyes, but he's never coming away any less of a character when he loses. I mean, we've said before, like, we don't really look at wins and losses all the time. And it's just like every time I see Sammy wrestle, but it's like the times he wins, like he beat Jericho in a non-title match.
Yeah.
And I like legitimately fist bumped. I was like, holy shit, he won a match. And
Yeah.
I think that's what maybe they're going for with Sammy.
This is also, interesting trivia, this is Samoa Joe's first WWE pay-per-view.
Yep.
Which sounds, that's just a weird sentence to say.
At this point?
Because, well, I mean, we mentioned it, I think we mentioned it like last year probably, but like at one time, back when TNA was actually very good, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels were the guys that were like not that they hadn't done other stuff before TNA, but they were like the homegrown stars of TNA Impact Wrestling. They were like, that was the biggest promotion they'd ever worked for, and they became stars on TNA television. And the notion that now AJ Styles and Samoa Joe are so high on the card in WWE, it's just so weird.
It's weird, right? It's just like what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
As much as as we all like to bitch and complain, like they're bringing in the wrestlers that we want to see, right? So I don't really actually know much about Christopher Daniels. I know he's awesome. Everyone always talks about how great he is, but I don't know if he's.
There is. You should look up. There's. I think there might be more than one, but there's a triple threat between AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a match.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look up some of his stuff then. Actually, if you want to pop off in the comments your favorite Christopher Daniels match that Adam Savadan could watch, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All I know is he had like the Fallen Angel gimmick or something.
Yeah.
That was his thing.
The Fallen Angel, Christopher
But
Daniels.
I've heard I listened
or Curry Man.
Wait, what? Stop. Halt! Graham Stark! You can't just say that and then...
There's a masked character named Curry Man that Christopher Daniels portrayed. Hey, don't worry about it.
It sounds great. Sounds like one of the reasons I love wrestling so much. Curry Man! All right.
Anyway.
I gotta look up Curry Man.
This match ends in a TKO.
Yeah.
Because after much battling back and forth, Samoa Joe catches Sami Zayn in the coquina clutch.
Yep.
And Sami doesn't tap, but
he passes out.
He passes out, and the ref calls the match.
Sami Zayn doesn't quit. God damn it.
Yeah, Sami doesn't quit. Joe, submits a man until he passes out.
Yeah.
They both look great.
Yeah. That's usually what they do with, that's the easiest way, to make someone lose, but not... where people make them look strong still, So I don't know. It's fine. It was great. I loved this match. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just Joe still looks like a monster, and Sami retains that lovable underdog quality that we all endears him to us so much.
But tenacious.
Yeah, tenacious. Yeah.
Next match is a championship match for the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
Gallows and Anderson, the club, defending against Enzo and Cass.
Yes. How did we get here, Graham? Not very interesting.
I honestly don't remember.
There was a lot of... God, what happened? All I remember, this whole tag team stuff has been a blur, and it's always Enzo and Cass or Cesaro and Sheamus have a title shot, and the other team ends up getting... causing a disqualification or a big, what's the word I'm looking, schmozzle? A big ballyhoo, a big fight happens, breaks out.
A kerfuffle.
Yeah, a kerfuffle. And that is essentially what the storyline was from pretty much Royal Rumble till now. It was just they can't decide who actually gets the number one shot. I can't actually remember how I think Enzo and Cass beat Cesaro and Sheamus on one of the Raws? Question mark? God, it's such a blur. But I don't know. I find that my desire to see Enzo and Cass in much of anything lately is waning a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels like because with the New Day, they were always kind of trying out new stuff. Mm-hmm. And with Enzo and Cass, it's the same thing every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get the intro, which is super sweet.
Right, here we go. Sorry. It's they retained, so the club defeated Cesaro and Sheamus at the Rumble.
Yeah.
They got the rematch clause on the February 6th episode of Rumble, but they were unsuccessful due to interference from Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
Which led to a singles match with Cesaro versus Enzo, which Cesaro handily won.
They're really playing Enzo is the major weak link. Eh?
Yeah.
And it's just are they going to break him up already?
And then Enzo and Cass defeated Cesaro and Sheamus on the February 20th episode to become the number one contenders for this fight here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope they don't break them up. I don't want to say. I think there's more. They have more value together at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
I really don't want to watch Enzo and Cass singles.
No.
I don't think there's anything much. I mean, I shouldn't say there's anything there because I'm not an expert, right? But just me watching as a fan, I don't know if I could get behind either guy, but they might do it. We didn't think that they would do it with the Shield so soon.
Yeah, that's true.
And that turned out all right.
Yeah.
This match is like okay. As big of a fan, like as big of a mark as I am for Anderson and Gallows.
Yeah.
Like they need something more. Like I feel like they need more mic time, which they don't get.
Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of it's hard to be a character when you're not given a chance to talk.
Yeah.
You know? Because I really like the stuff that
the thing is, Gallows and Anderson have never looked as cool as when they debuted in street clothes, beating the crap out of
the Usos.
The Usos.
Yeah.
On Raw.
That was great.
Yeah.
And now it's like, but they have such good personalities, and they're just not given a chance to kind of like shine. It's just right now they're just the tag team champions, and that's it. Like, how come we don't hear? Remember when they were with AJ Styles, and we got to hear about Carl Anderson's hot Asian wife?
Yeah.
And Luke would go off about calling people nerds. I mean, they did that for a while after the Royal Rumble too, but. I don't know, man. The Raw tag division is struggling. So is the SmackDowns too, though, to be fair.
Yeah. Both tag divisions are in a...
kind of like a holding pattern, it feels like a
bit.
permanent holding pattern.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The match was okay. The finish came when Carl Anderson hit that kind of that hi-ya kick that he does.
Yeah.
And he hit it on Enzo, and Enzo was right by the ropes. And the ref was counting, and then Enzo put his foot on the ropes, and Luke Gallows basically just walked by and went, boop, and it just knocked off his foot. And then it got
That was
counted
good.
for 3.
I like that.
Which I liked it, but do you think that would just be like, Enzo would be like, oh shit, I better kick out? You know, not just like, oh, that was my only fail safe.
I think you put your foot in the ropes because you don't have the energy to kick out.
Fair enough. Okay, that's cool. All right. Yeah. I guess that makes a lot more sense than just me being like, oh no, someone knocked my foot off. And I don't understand how Enzo's been playing, like even on this week's Raw, Enzo was like, it's mired in controversy, or that's how the announce team is. It's
right.
like, how is that controversial?
Yeah.
He just knocked his leg off and then he got pinned. Like, that's not controversial.
No.
It was just like, this is bizarre.
Everyone saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no cheating. They didn't cheat. It was just like, you lost, fair and square. And now they're acting like they're the ones that have been wronged in this situation.
I did like that. I do like occasionally that Carl Anderson uses the spine buster.
Yeah.
The AA spine buster.
It's great.
Because I mentioned this before, that like some time ago, and not on WWE, but like a while ago in a different promotion, I don't know what, he was like introduced or portrayed as a cousin of Arn Anderson, like that he's kayfabe in the Anderson wrestling family. And Arn Anderson uses
The Anderson family is super famous, especially in WCW.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson was in the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And the Four Horsemen were a group that was super famous, especially in the, I think, late 70s and mostly 80s, though. I don't know when they formed, but mostly through the 80s.
Yeah.
And they were this dominant force, mostly in World Championship Wrestling and the old NWA.
And sometimes people would get, like, with people like the Andersons or the Von Erichs, people who weren't actually related to them would be like, look, it's so-and-so last name. Yeah. He's part of our family as well, even though it's like totally not, just for storyline purposes. But yeah, so Carl Anderson, not actually remotely related to
it's like King
Arn
and
Anderson.
Undertaker brothers. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
like that kind of thing.
Not related in person, but I like that he's using the spine buster.
Yeah.
There's a backstage segment with Mick Foley on speakerphone to Steph. Steph's flight is delayed. They're still on the tarmac. She's like yelling at the flight attendants because, of course, Steph's horrible, and just like wants Foley to make sure to keep things under control. She doesn't want anything. She doesn't want any shenanigans in the women's title match or the Universal title match. She wants them to be shenanigan free.
Well, I don't mean to spoil things for you, but
yeah, let me know how that works out.
Yeah. Oh man, and like this whole segment was just like, ugh. Like the whole time I was watching it, I was just like,
it was awkward. Yeah,
it is weird. And is Foley on his way out? Do you think?
I don't know. I assumed because spoilers, stuff goes south in the matches.
Yeah.
So I assumed that he was getting fired on the Raw after this episode.
No, they didn't even really mention
They
it.
barely, dealt with it.
They're making like a lot of threats about. They've been doing this like weekly with Foley though, like threatening him, and saying like, "This is your last chance," and then something like it just happens, and then they're like, I'm your boss, Mick. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's like been
It
rumors.
really
going around,
feels
like,
also that like Brian and Shane and Mick and Steph have very different understandings of what their roles mean, like general manager versus commissioner,
yeah.
right? Because like Mick tries to make a match and Steph comes out at Mick as general manager tries to make a match and then Steph comes out as commissioner and goes, "That's not your job. I'm in charge." Whereas on SmackDown, some of the women's wrestlers were criticizing Daniel Bryan for like making a match, and he's like, "That's literally my job."
It's like, that's what I do.
It just there's an inconsistency there with the chain of command on the shows.
What is the job of the commissioner?
I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Now that you've said it, now that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, the general manager handles talent and makes matches.
Yeah.
And the commissioner,
Higher level stuff? I don't know.
yeah, payments and stuff, I guess. Maybe kayfabe, like, handles paychecks, writes the checks, and maybe they do have the final decision, though. Like, maybe they can overrule the general manager as far as storylines go. I don't know, man.
Next, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax.
Yep.
What a weird feud this has been.
Yeah, it's been very strange. So, God,
we talked about them fighting on the Royal Rumble pre-show.
Yeah.
Oh, fighting. Nia destroying Sasha.
Yeah, because Sasha was, like, injured.
Yeah.
And that's what Nia was, like, kind of focusing on.
Yeah.
I remember, like, beating her up on one Raw. She had, like, crutches. She hit her with a crutch and threw her around for a little bit. And, God, I don't think anything else really happened. Nia's been... If you take, like, the Nia Jax project and the Braun Strowman project, Braun has definitely benefited.
Yeah, they've worked out. The Braun, turning Braun into a monster has worked out well. Turning Nia into a monster has worked out less successfully.
To be fair to Nia, though, like, that division is 4 people right now.
Yeah.
It's Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, and Nia.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alicia Fox is technically on Raw, but she's sort of part of the Cruiserweight storyline now.
Never really see that storyline got weird, man. Like,
she's just Noam Dar's valet now.
yeah. And this is a good time to bring up Emelina.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So for fucking weeks,
17 weeks.
17 weeks, we got these, like, vignettes and these, like, postcards type, like, just still screens that Emelina was coming.
The makeover of Emma into Emelina. And
17 weeks!
It was just these, like, I think I've described them before, just these, like, Instagram fitness model shots of Emma looking hot in bikinis and whatever.
Dude, it screamed of the Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just absolutely.
Yeah.
And so finally...
And she was ready to go.
Yeah.
For weeks and weeks. And they just kept, as like a joke, like trying to turn it into a running gag, they just kept doing, like, she's debuting next week. And then she just
don't say anything.
And then she just wouldn't.
Yeah.
But they'd run a promo saying that she's debuting next week. And then on that week's Raw, they'd run a promo saying she was debuting next week.
I'm assuming that was like...
And then they started running the promos with her doing voiceover, being like, "You've been so patient, but your patience will be rewarded next week." And then nothing would happen next week. And it's like, and she had been cleared to wrestle for a while.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell's going on?
I think this is just like, we were supposed to boo her.
I don't know.
It's like the Eva Marie thing where she's like, she will not be here tonight because she's stuck in traffic or something.
Apparently, backstage, they, like, couldn't make the character work. Like, it was reported on, the dirt sheets from people who have backstage knowledge that, like, the Emelina character just actually wasn't working.
Yeah,
and then
wasn't doing any. How could it?
Well, no, but like that
what they were
just
doing with it?
Just backstage officials and road agents or whatever just weren't impressed with how she was doing that character, and they were like, "Oh, this actually doesn't work."
Yeah,
because it's. If I can be super cynical, it's really obvious to me that someone, maybe Vince, saw her Instagram and was like, "Oh wow, she's really hot. This should be her character."
Yeah.
Without, like, checking if she could do that character.
Yeah.
And then
Like her other character's awesome.
so then they started running promos, and then we're like, all right, cool. So let's get you back into ring shape. You're this character now, and then she started doing it, and they were like, oh, you're actually not very good at that character. So let's not do it. And so the way they bailed out of it was that Emelina finally debuted, and she came out to the top of the ramp and was like, you've been so patient, and here I am, the makeover of Emma into Emelina. And now you get to see the makeover of Emelina into Emma, and left. And then the next week, they ran a promo that was like Emma, with Emma looking like she did before, with like the aviator shades and the shoulder pads, looking awesome, and like the half gloves. And it was like, Emma will return soon.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was the point of any of that?
Dude, when they did that promo on Raw,
Yeah.
and after is like, Emma is coming soon, you could... Corey Graves goes, not again. It's so great. Because Corey Graves the whole time was pumping up the Emelina thing.
Yeah. It's
He's
just...
like, it's going to be awesome. We're finally going to see her. And yeah, it was like, when she came out and was like, I'm Emelina,
It was
JK,
such an awkward promo, too.
flatter than a plate of piss, as they like to say.
It's just like, no one cared. No. She wasn't very believable.
Nope.
She obviously was not happy, actually. No. You could tell that she was not happy with having to go out there and deliver that promo, because she knew it was dumb, you know? And because she was really good as Emma.
God, she was
And
awesome.
then they were like repackaging her for no reason.
Yeah.
And it turns out it didn't work, so you've been running all these promos pointlessly for weeks.
Yeah. I'm hoping they just reunite Dana Brooke and Emma.
Oh, yeah, Dana Brooke also, actually, I guess, is in the division. But again, yeah, not really as a...
Not really. She showed up on an episode...
Jogging lazily to the rings before getting attacked from behind by Bayley.
Yeah. And then she came down... No, she didn't come down at Fastlane. No.
No.
It was an episode of
we'll
Raw
talk
where
about
she
that
came
later.
down. The title match when... Oh, okay, we'll get to it. But anyway, sorry. We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
So Sasha and Nia Jax are in a
just filling
feud.
you in on the extras of the female division because there's not much there. But
so in the first of many decisions of the night that I don't understand,
yeah.
Nia Jax loses this match.
Yes.
An injured Sasha Banks steals the upset with a surprise roll-up pin. And I don't understand why.
For Sasha going into, because I'm assuming, because this week on Raw,
It looks like it's supposed to be like a triple threat.
Well, it is
probably.
a triple threat now because Sasha and Bayley had a match on Raw.
Yeah.
And Sasha beat Bayley and it became a triple threat.
Right. So at WrestleMania, it's champion Bayley defending against Charlotte and Sasha Banks.
But this whole Nia Jax thing, like, she just, I don't know what it is about her. Like, I want to like her.
Yeah.
But there's just not much there.
Yeah.
There's nothing to that.
And I don't like her promos.
Yeah, her promos aren't very good either.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just like, even Sasha winning was just like, this whole women's division has just been a fucking mess, dude. Like, it just feels like, they're trying stuff, but none of it's either we're not getting it, you know what I mean? Like what they're trying to get across, or how they're trying to make us feel, and we just aren't seeing it, or it's just not good. It's one or the other. And it's just like, man, I feel like the women's division needs to be more than 4 women on Raw.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does. Because it's just like...
You can have more than one storyline.
Yeah, you can.
You got 3 hours. Look at SmackDown. So Sasha beats Nia so that basically that storyline is over so that Sasha can focus on...
I kind of expected Sasha to win this match, though. Just because, like, Nia beat her at the Rumble on the pre-show.
Yeah, but it's so weird for it to be injured Sasha beating her. And then after the match, Nia was like, okay.
Yeah, she was just kind of okay with it. Like,
You'd expect her to, like...
Weird decisions
To,
all
like,
night.
go Strowman and lose it on her.
You think so?
Yeah.
Nope.
Backstage in Mick Foley's office, well, actually, we see this is something that happened during the kickoff show. The backstage in Foley's office, Rusev and Jinder Mahal
For fuck's I forgot about
are
this.
arguing. So if we go way, way back
Way back.
to the incident with Enzo going to Lana's hotel room,
Yep.
following that, Enzo got put in sensitivity training
Yep.
backstage at Raw.
Yep.
And also in the sensitivity workshop was Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And they came to disagreements. So as a result of a mutual dislike of Enzo, Rusev and Jinder Mahal started sort of being a team.
Yeah, they were
Kinda. They
still didn't really like each other.
They hung out and I think they had a tag team match.
Yeah, they did.
But
they fought Enzo and Cass, and
right,
they just pinned Rusev.
Yeah.
Which you'd think they would probably pin Jinder. Man,
Yeah.
what's happened to Rusev? What did he do? Who did he piss off?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know. Rusev's great.
He was so great. He still is
He
great.
had an amazing moment in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
When he was fighting Big Show.
Yeah.
So they show Rusev and Jinder arguing backstage how they wanted singles competition.
Yeah, how
right?
they are no longer getting along.
Yeah.
And so
They never showed why they weren't getting along.
Foley is like, you guys want to have a best of 7 series? Yeah. And they're like, no.
I chuckled at that.
Yeah, that was good.
That got me.
Because Foley's like, I'm just kidding. And he's like, all right,
That
fine.
would never work.
Yeah, he's like, fine, go out there. I'll find you singles partners. You guys decide who goes first.
Yeah.
So 2 random singles matches that weren't advertised for the show. Okay. So
And you fucking knew, while watching this, the whole time you're like, they are filling up time because the main event is not going to be long.
yeah.
And you're like, oh, no.
So Jinder Mahal and Rusev go out separately. They start fighting in the ring. This is them deciding who goes first.
I wish you were just like, you were lying or something. Like, this didn't happen.
Mahal knees Rusev in the head and sends him to the outside, and so he gets to go first.
Yeah.
And so the music hits, and it's Cesaro and Sheamus enter.
Yeah.
Sheamus is wearing street clothes, so it'll be Cesaro fighting.
Yeah.
So Cesaro and Jinder Mahal have a match.
I mean, technically, Cesaro's always wearing street clothes, right?
True, but
But Cesaro,
Sheamus
doesn't
Sheamus
tear
is
his clothes off.
Sheamus is specifically not wearing his trunks. Cesaro tears his street clothes off and is wearing his trunks. And
Cesaro wins with that big uppercut, doesn't he?
yeah, so Cesaro beat Jinder Mahal in a nothing match.
Yeah, it just kind of happens. I mean, it's like it was just an episode of Raw.
Yeah. So then Rusev and Jinder scrap a little bit more, and Rusev clears Jinder out of the ring.
Yeah.
And then, so now Rusev's ready for his opponent, and it's the Big Show.
Yeah.
And
Looking slim.
yeah, still looking good, and they fight for a bit, and then
Fucking Big Show.
the Big Show wins.
choke slams Rusev 3 times.
Yeah.
And then props the poor fuck up in the corner and gives him a knockout punch.
Yeah.
I was like, just stop. The man's already dead. Like, you don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't... Okay, so did they do this? Was this just like...
Like Jinder actually got to like get some offense in against Cesaro. Like Rusev just got manhandled by Big Show.
There was one great fucking point, though, where Rusev kicked Big Show like 3 times.
Yeah.
And he went for the pin, and Big Show kicked out. And Rusev is on his knees going, 3 Machka kicks! He kicked out of 3 Machka kicks! It was fucking brilliant.
Rusev's really funny.
He's really funny. Yeah, like super funny dude. And I want more of that. Why can't we have that? And Big Show fucking chokeslams Rusev 3 times. And I don't know if... This is where I want to know. Was it booked that way? Or was this just like a spur of the moment kind of thing? Because the crowd was chanting one more time, one more time, one more time. So he just did it again. But why would he props him up in the corner.
Yeah.
And then just fucking punches him in the jaw after 3 chokeslams.
Both of these matches and all the faffing about that surrounded them just felt like a phenomenal waste of time.
Yeah.
Of everyone's time. Our time, the wrestlers' time. Yeah. Like it was
people not even watching it was a waste of their time.
Yeah.
Just like someone was just like
someone's making dinner and they're just like I feel bored for some reason.
And so was it planned this way and Big Show was supposed to do that? Or cuz is he still fighting Shaq Attack?
I don't think so. That was rumored, but I don't think it's happening. Probably cuz Shaq is not in good shape.
I would suspect so.
Yeah.
And Big Show was in the best shape of his life. And when Big Shaq eventually would beat Big Show, he'd be like, well, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
you know? Oh, so he's not fighting Shaq, as far as now that I know.
Yeah.
Weird. Just fucking weird. Like, why does he need to be chokeslammed 3 times? I don't know why I'm hung up on this, but I am.
Like, why did Big Show have to? First of all, why did Jinder and Rusev have to lose these matches? But why did Rusev have to lose so badly?
Yeah. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I just wish I knew what they were trying to accomplish with this, because I can't figure it out.
No, I have no idea.
Other than time filler. I know you can say time filler, but there has to be something.
Because this didn't. We've also watched the Raw following Fastlane, and
There's no follow. They're not even. Rusev's not even on Raw.
no,
There's no mention.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just like, and this is, it just keeps getting weirder as we go on.
Yeah.
From this point forward, from the tag match forward. Well, I guess the cruiserweight's next, right?
The cruiserweight match of the night.
Yeah. Let's get so.
That's next.
Moving on.
The cruiserweight championship.
Yeah.
King of the cruiserweights Neville defending against the gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
For the title.
Dude. How has Neville is exactly what that division needed.
Oh my God!
Like,
yes.
how awesome is it to have that badass, like, tough heel that, I mean, we're not booing him because he's awesome, but it's just like, just to have that tough as nails champion that someone's got to beat.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Neville's perfect.
He's great. Kathleen was just passing through the room and was like, wow, he looks so evil with that beard.
Yeah.
And he does. He looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Gallagher is, this is actually a perfect comparison that I feel the same way about Jack Gallagher as I do about Wes Anderson, the director.
Wait, the horror guy?
No. He directs like Royal Tenenbaums.
I'm Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Okay,
And The Life Aquatic and Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
I would never in a million years want all movies to look like Wes Anderson movies, but I'm so glad that Wes Anderson is making Wes Anderson movies. I'm so glad he's making movies that look like that.
Yeah.
Right? I would never want all wrestlers to wrestle like Jack Gallagher because it would be stupid. But I'm so glad Jack Gallagher wrestles like Jack Gallagher.
It, right? Like,
he wrestles like a complete ninny, and it's amazing.
Yeah. There's one.
He's this poncy British. He literally, at the contract signing for this match, because Neville's also from the UK, he invited Neville to join him in a cuppa. he had like a porcelain tea set, and he was standing there in his waistcoat with his umbrella, and he was like, "Well, now that we've signed the contract, we have a cup of tea," And Neville just like flips the table. And we talked last time about how he was like I just wanted to let you know that I am going to interfere with this match now.
Because I am not a scoundrel.
Yeah.
It's like,
he's so good.
They're in the, like, it was like Arya Daivari and some other guy having a match. And Jack comes out while they're still wrestling in the ring and announces that he's going to interfere in this match. It's fucking brilliant. And then him and, I think we talked about it, but Arya Daivari and Jack had a gentleman's duel.
Yeah.
And that's where he first used that umbrella that he's using all the time.
Yeah.
Jack wrestles just like... It's so different.
Yeah.
But it's still, he does the goofy stuff, but he's got a lot of stuff that hits really hard still. Like,
and
it's tough.
It's so clean.
Yeah. That fucking headbutt that he does is unreal.
He did a like a over the top rope.
Yeah.
Like a jump to the outside.
Yeah.
Or was it over the top or was it through the ropes?
I think it was over the top.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, he does a little bit of everything. I mean, they both do. Like, Neville's good. Neville can wrestle any style, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jack's the same. And Jack does the weird stuff, like when he did the handstand in the corner on the top turnbuckle, and then Neville will go to run at him, and Jack's like upside down. He just puts his foot out to stop him, like, no. Like with his foot. It's really great.
So we talked last time also about how this new heel Neville, the bad guy Neville, tends to use submission wins and doesn't use the red arrow because the red arrow is like, that's a super flashy, it's a move that people like. And this match, Neville wins it, but he has to use the red arrow to do it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
It's a really cool.
Gallagher put up so much of a fight that Neville was like, damn it, I have to pull out the red arrow, and did the red arrow and won the match on it.
Fucking awesome.
It was great.
And we haven't seen the red arrow since he came back.
Yeah, I love that kind of storytelling. It's so good.
He's like, everyone should have. I really do feel like a lot of wrestlers should have that pocket move. Like with Cena, it was that avalanche.
The avalanche, from the second
so
rope.
when someone kicked out of it, they're like, oh. So when AJ Styles kicked out of it, we're all like, but in this match too, there was like a couple of just unbelievable German suplexes from Neville. Like he does this like snap German suplex that's super fast, and then he did another one where I think he pushes Gallagher, and Gallagher goes chest first against the ropes, and then Neville just throws him over top of his head, and Gallagher lands like straight on his head.
Yeah,
and I was like a little worried about that one. And
he looked really banged up afterwards.
Yeah.
Of course, he's also very pale, so it shows up pretty badly, but yeah.
But Gallagher does these headbutts, and there's one headbutt where he hits Neville, and Neville's sitting on the top rope, and Neville just falls, like, knocked out, like, hanging. It was such a great visual. It just looked, like, absolutely decimated.
Yeah.
The match was awesome. If you have the network and you haven't watched this pay-per-view, please just go. I mean, the pay-per-view is not great, but this match is awesome. And this is definitely the best cruiserweight match we've had.
Yeah, in a while.
Since it started. Well, discounting the Cruiserweight Classic, but since the main roster debut, this is the best match.
Yeah.
And I'm excited going forward because the next night on Raw, Austin Aries is cleared to wrestle.
Yeah.
And he ended up attacking Neville during an interview segment.
So good.
We haven't talked much about Austin Aries, but he's a former TNA guy.
Yeah, former TNA guy, came to NXT, did some good work in NXT.
Had a great match with Nakamura, if you haven't seen that one. I really liked that match.
Reads the wrestling subreddit.
Does he?
Well, because there was a joke on the wrestling subreddit that was like, attention wrestlers, if you read this subreddit, could you please like figure out a way to like mention a banana in your promo or something like that. And there was an NXT promo where Austin Aries finishes promo and then was like, oh, excuse me, my phone's ringing, and just puts a banana up to his head and leaves or something. He does something with
amazing.
He does something with a banana, and the wrestling subreddit was like, what? So yeah. So anyway,
that's great.
Did some great work in NXT. Got injured.
Yeah.
Then joined while he was recovering from injury. Joined commentary for the 205 Live.
Yeah.
And whenever they would do the cruiserweight match on Raw, he would swap out for Byron Saxton. So it would be Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Austin Aries. Yeah. Then it was announced that when he would be cleared to wrestle, he would actually be joining the cruiserweight division rather than returning to NXT or the main roster.
I think that's a good move too.
Yeah.
And
now he was a heel in NXT.
He's a face now, but I think he's just going to eventually be a heel anyway.
Well, but yeah, that's the thing. But like, he was a heel in NXT. He's been a heel on commentary, talking about how great he is.
Yeah.
Right. But people want to like him.
Yeah.
And so he's doing this interview with Neville on Raw the following night about Fastlane, and Neville starts like berating him.
Yeah.
And then Adrian's like, well, Austin Aries, Austin Aries is like, well, I actually have one more question for you. Well, it's less of a question, it's more of a statement, and then just decks him with the microphone.
That's great.
And attacks him.
Like
and so currently, at least, Austin Aries in the Cruiserweight division is a face. And that seems good.
They were doing the promo packages for Aries, and he's like, check out my package. It's huge. You should check out my big package. I heard they had to cut 72 hours of footage from it to cut it down to 3 minutes. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it made me laugh.
Fastlane. Back to Fastlane.
Yeah.
Backstage, there's a bit with Paul Heyman talking to Charlie Caruso, who's the new backstage reporter, saying that Brock Lesnar has every right to be here tonight, but is he? Who knows? Spoilers, no. And now the New Day comes out and talks about ice cream.
Yeah. This is what the New Day's been doing for like weeks.
So the New Day, because
ice cream.
Because they have nothing else for them, I guess, are hosting WrestleMania. And like that's great for the New Day, and I'm thrilled that management has the confidence and the respect in the New Day and what they bring to the table, that they are giving them, the sort of moniker of like hosting WrestleMania. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because so far the other hosts of WrestleMania, since they started having hosts, have been Hogan and The Rock.
That's a good fucking point.
And that's it, I think.
But I mean, like the company they're in.
Yeah. So like that's great.
Yeah.
But I'm really bummed that it's like that's it. It's well, you know that nothing's going to happen storyline-wise with them between now and Mania because they're not doing a match. Mm-hmm. And it's depressing that they can't think of anything interesting to do with them from a storyline perspective, that they're just like, well, I guess you're hosting WrestleMania, sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, on the one side, yay, and on the other side, come on.
Yeah, that's how it felt like just instantly when I heard that. But now that you mentioned, like, I mean, Hogan and Rock, that's probably their, like, not when I say their, like, I mean management, Vince or whoever it is. Their thought process is like, well, I mean, Rock and Hogan have been hosts.
Yeah.
But they were also inactive on the roster
Yeah.
at the time. It's like, this is the first time it's been inactive, and it just feels like
Does New Day get to use a flamethrower? Oh. Like Rock did?
I hope so.
It was so stupid.
I mean, it was stupid, but it was kind of cool.
So basically, week on week, this is what's been happening on Raw. New Day came out and talked about how they want ice cream.
Yeah.
The next week, they came out with a piece of paper that are the plans
Dude, I felt like this segment was awesome, by the way.
for their ice cream.
And they had a match with Bo Dallas.
And they had a match with Bo Dallas, and he got mad and tore up the ice cream
He
plans.
stole it. Well, it was like,
Yeah.
he got knocked outside the ring, and they were doing this thing where New Day was all dancing, and then Bo started dancing, and they
Yeah.
were just like, no. And Bo got mad and stole the plans, and then like held them hostage, and he was gonna go rip them, and then he just ripped them in half.
Yeah.
And the New Day sold it like they got hit with a gun, like shot with a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, no!
So then the next week, they come out and they have the ice cream plans, whatever that means, the recipe, I guess, on an iPad.
Yeah.
But Lana also has the plans or swapped iPads or something. I was a little unclear, to be honest. I sort of zoned out.
Yeah.
And they destroy the iPad.
Yeah.
And so now at Fastlane, the New Day comes out with an ice cream cart
Yeah.
covered in amazing graphics with
pretty sweet.
like ice cream pops based on all of the New Day.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It just reminds me of CM Punk.
Oh yeah, right. CM Punk wanted ice
He
cream.
wanted ice cream bars.
Yeah.
Where are my WWE ice cream bars?
And like Kofi's, it seems like, not Kofi, it seems like Big E's gimmick through this thing is that he's wasted.
Yeah, that was like in this. It was this pay-per-view, right? When they were like, Big E was doing something.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Are you drunk?" Or like, they don't say drunk, but
They kind of do.
They kind of do.
Like
they say something.
they talk about they had the idea for Bootios and everyone thought it was laughable, but they made their voices heard. And Big E starts going like, "I hear voices in my head." He starts singing Randy Orton's theme song, and then he starts singing something else again. And they're like, "Have you been sipping?
Sipping, yeah, that's
Like, are you like, you know?"
And he doesn't deny it. I don't know.
He's
I
just
don't
like, just sort of like looks.
weird, man.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is the segment. That's it. And then they just leave, right?
Yeah, and they talk about the cart, and then they're like, they want ice cream at WrestleMania because New Day rocks, and then they leave.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
It's a good thing they're so entertaining.
Yeah.
Because they are entertaining, and they can do so much good work, but this feels like a waste of their talents.
Yeah. Maybe we said that a lot tonight.
Yeah. This is a weird pay-per-view, man.
Weird pay-per-view.
And it only continues with Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman is our next match. Just ripping through the card here.
Yep. Precursor.
Yeah.
I really like this match.
It was a good match.
The finish was weird.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec.
But I actually really like this match.
So how did we get here?
So Braun Strowman costs Roman Reigns the title at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And says, I was told that I would get, and Strowman says to Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
I was told that I would get a title shot
Yep.
if you defeated Roman
Yeah.
at Royal Rumble. Did I say WrestleMania first?
No, I think it's a Royal Rumble.
Okay. So then,
You meant Royal Rumble.
yeah, I meant Royal Rumble.
Regardless.
Strowman and Kevin Owens have a match,
Yeah.
and Roman Reigns interferes,
Yeah.
causing a disqualification? Question mark? I think that's how it ends.
At the Rumble?
No, the next night on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Strowman has a title
Yeah.
match with Kevin Owens, and then Roman Reigns interferes.
Yeah.
And then, God, what happens? All I remember is the contract signing after that.
I forgot they had a contract signing.
Yep. It was weird.
It's not even for a title.
Roman broke the top turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they Strowman threw Roman into the turnbuckle and the top rope popped out.
Yeah.
Looked cool.
It was sweet, though. I actually really liked how Roman was all beat up, and then he,
And
crawled on top
crawled
of the
back onto
table
the
to
table
sign the thing.
to sign the contract.
I thought that was pretty
And
cool.
Strowman, who was like on his way up the ramp, turned around and watched him sign and was like, all right. And he was sort of like, sweet, I get to beat the crap out of Roman Reigns. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we got here. They just really don't like each other.
Yeah. Which this is what we expected to happen leading into WrestleMania, because the expectation after the Rumble was setting up Reigns versus Undertaker.
Yep.
But using Strowman as a holdover feud in between.
Yeah. So they have this match.
Yeah.
Which I feel like was pretty good.
Yeah.
I really liked it. A lot of people got...
Strowman put on a really good match.
Yeah. Dude, how about the... Okay, sorry. Big Show and Braun Strowman have a match on the main event of Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2 weeks before this.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman does a kip up. They were chain wrestling.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Big Show and Braun Strowman did like technical wrestling.
Yeah. And the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was really good.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to bring that up. I've just been more impressed. I'm like becoming I didn't think I would become a fan of Braun Strowman because that archetype in wrestling I've never gravitated towards, like the big monster heel.
He's the first one that's been good in years.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't even know, like
since Kane?
Yeah.
Like
Kane, he's like he's gearing up to be Kane Undertaker levels of big man.
Yeah.
As you would say, like who can actually
apparently Big Show's been working with him.
Really?
Like backstage.
It's showing.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely showing because whatever the work they're putting into Braun Strowman, like he's just
he's picking it up. Yeah. He's doing good work.
Yeah.
And Reigns can always
Reigns
perform.
can wrestle.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll defend that hit. I'll die on that hill.
We've said that before.
Yeah. Reigns can wrestle.
So they put on a really good match.
His character sucks.
Yeah. God.
They put on a good match.
Yeah.
A lot of people were hung up about Roman wins, which is weird.
Because we've complained about Super Roman before.
Yeah.
Just another in a long chain on this night of strange booking decisions. Braun Strowman, who has never been pinned or submitted.
Yeah.
He's lost matches due to other reasons, but in singles competition, Braun Strowman has never been pinned and has never submitted.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I think Fastlane is when they decided to pull that Band-Aid off versus Roman Reigns.
To be fair, in the context of the match, Braun Strowman went to the fucking top rope, by the way.
Yeah.
And went for a big splash and missed.
Yeah.
And then Roman hit the spear. And Braun earlier in the match kicked out of Roman's spear, which is a big deal because the only other person that I can think of that kicked out of Roman's spear, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I think as soon as he hits that, it's over, right? Like I'm trying to think of anybody else that kicked out of the spear. And I know I've actually asked this question before, and I think it's just Brock Lesnar.
Did he hit the spear on Finn in that Finn Balor versus Reigns match right after?
I don't think so.
Right after the brand split?
Yeah, that was a while ago, though. Someone will tell us.
So, sure. Okay. Do I think that the mystique of Braun Strowman has been ruined by this single clean loss to Roman Reigns?
The cleanest, like Mr. Clean, squeaky clean.
No, I don't.
No.
But similarly, do I think they needed to break that streak to build Roman up for a match against Undertaker at Mania? No, I don't. I don't think it was necessary to have Roman win this match. Mm-hmm. I don't think him winning this match hurt Strowman in the long run, but I also don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
So it seems weird to me.
They really kind of like just wrote themselves into a corner with this storyline, right? Like neither guy really needs to win. Can't really have I mean, you could argue both sides that both guys need to win, but you can't really have Roman lose clean because a lot of people expected just like, why not have The Undertaker cost Roman the match? Which makes sense. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do it, but I am in the understanding that they had Roman win clean just to get him ready for Undertaker. That's it. This was the only vehicle.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, I understand why they did it. I mean, I don't really like it, but...
Yeah, I mean, but again, like I just want to make it clear. I think it was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the wrong choice because I think that this loss will negatively impact Strowman or that it ruins the build-up that they've given him.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was necessary, and now you no longer have that he's never been pinned or submitted thing.
Yeah.
Right? I think part of it might also be that this whole night was this ongoing litany of like, this thing has never happened. Oh, it happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like injured Sasha Banks beat Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Roman beat Braun Strowman clean.
Yeah.
And more to come.
I think that with Roman, it's like Braun has been kind of just picking on other people, like a lower on the, like if you're looking at it in kayfabe terms, Braun has really just been picking on the small fish,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he hasn't been fighting anybody really high up, and he's like, I want competition.
He keeps demanding competition from Foley, and the most he's ever got was Sami Zayn.
Yeah, so he loses to Roman Reigns, who, like it or not, in the context of this universe, Roman is one of the strongest characters.
Yeah.
As far as like, if you gave him stats.
Yeah.
In this video game, Roman is one of the strongest characters.
He's the Squirrel Girl of the WWE. Squirrel Girl is like the most powerful Marvel hero ever, basically.
Yeah, Roman is the strongest.
Yeah.
And Braun, I think that it's fine for a big monster to still show a little bit of humanity and biting off more than he can chew.
Yeah.
Because,
I agree.
mean, it's what they're doing with Lesnar too, right? Like Lesnar bit off more than he could chew with Goldberg.
Yeah.
And so
that's I don't hate the decision. Yeah. I think it was the wrong decision. But
fair. I totally I'm not even disagreeing.
Yeah.
But
I know.
I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
You know? Just like I'm just not surprised by anything that Roman does anymore. I'm just like, oh, all right. Yeah. You know, like I'm just kind of like, I don't want to say I'm just like I'm not just acquiescing to it. Like
no.
I haven't just given up, but I'm just like, all right.
I think I said a couple episodes ago that I had.
You did? You just
that I was like, I just don't care. Yeah. I just realized I don't care.
I just understand why they do it. Yeah. And it doesn't make me mad anymore. It's great. Like, I don't know. It's just like, okay, this is what they want to do. And even like Roman, like we could just we could cover Roman every episode on this.
It's very zen. It's like once you don't give a shit about Roman, you don't care about Roman.
It's just like it's fine.
Yeah.
But we could honestly just talk about this every episode.
Yeah.
Like this polarizing Roman Reigns issue. But
I think we have.
We have.
Don't we talk about it every episode?
Time, yeah. We bring it up all the time.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Women's championship match.
Yes.
Bayley defending against Charlotte. Earlier.
Wait a second, Graham.
Yeah.
Wait a second, Graham.
Bayley defending against Charlotte.
Yeah. Hold up. What happened?
Because the last time we talked was Royal Rumble, right?
Yep.
Well, in the intervening weeks, Charlotte and Bayley had a championship match. That was the main event of Monday Night Raw, and Bayley won.
Yep.
Now, how did Bayley win that match?
Bayley won. Bayley was in the figure 8.
Yep.
And earlier in that match, Dana Brooke had come down with some shenanigans, and then Sasha Banks came down to even the odds.
Yeah.
And while Bayley was in the figure 8, Sasha hit Charlotte with the crutches.
Yeah.
And then Bayley hit a Bayley to belly.
And Bayley wasn't aware that had happened. And so, and then pinned Charlotte and won. And then the next week, Steph was like, well, Bayley, you could see from the tape that obviously you didn't really beat Charlotte. You only beat her because Sasha hit her with the crutches. So you should relinquish that title.
Yeah.
Which is such a dick move. And Bayley's like, gee, crowd, do you think I should relinquish the title?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Sasha came down and was like, hell no, you should never give up that title.
Yeah.
You earned it. And I didn't like this segment.
Most of this storyline has not been great.
No. What happened? Why does it feel like Sasha and Bayley come across really wooden lately?
I mean, they all do a little bit. Honestly, on the Monday Night Raw following Fastlane, there was another instance of Charlotte on commentary.
This is when I would agree with you because I was listening.
Yeah.
I was like, I better really listen to this because Graham
and Michael Cole
popped off about it last time.
And Michael Cole would be like...
she was awful.
He'd be like, like volleyball, he'd be like, so Charlotte, here's a question for you. Hup. And Charlotte's like, just misses. She's like, well, yes, Michael. I said that before.
Yeah.
She's not good on commentary.
No.
But yeah, Bayley's promos have sounded kind of wooden. I don't know. I think I get they've done good promos, so I guess it's the script. I don't know, man.
I don't know what's going on, man.
So
it's just like,
so Bayley's the champ.
Yeah.
And earlier on Fastlane, she confronts Charlotte backstage and is like, let's settle this correctly, right? You and I, one-on-one, send Dana Brooke to the back. Don't have your little toady out at ringside. And Charlotte's like, how dare you? I don't need her I would never use her for advantage. How dare you even suggest such a thing?
Yeah.
But to Charlotte's credit, during her entrance, she comes out with Dana Brooke, and they get partway down the ramp, and Charlotte goes, all right, head to the back.
Yeah.
And Dana's like, what the shit?
Yeah.
And Charlotte's like, no, don't argue with me. Go to the back.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, all right.
Yeah.
Go Charlotte. And
I still really like Charlotte.
well, I mean, she's her character's great.
Yeah.
She's good at it. She's great in the ring. It's just improv, not her strongest suit.
No.
But whatever.
That's fine. Like, you can't be good at everything, right?
Yeah. And so they're having a match. They're having a match without interference from Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
And it's a fine match. And at one point near the end, Charlotte goes up to the top rope to do her massive moonsault.
Yeah.
And Sasha runs down. Mm-hmm. And they fight.
Dude, she jumps down. Sasha straight up hits Charlotte in front of the referee.
In full view of the ref, who does not disqualify. That would be a DQ
this
on
was
Bayley.
the only point in the night where I was like really fucking upset. Like,
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck just happened?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because it's like, it's full view. This should be a DQ on, like, Bayley should be disqualified because someone attacked Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean, it means that she would get to keep the title, but it should be a DQ.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the ref just doesn't call it.
Yeah.
And Bayley's sort of out of it, doesn't realize that Sasha is there or that Sasha was doing this. And so...
God, who did they just recently do this kind of... Oh, this is kind of like the... This is a lot like... Remember the Becky Lynch-Charlotte thing where they were like, she was cheating and she was like, are you cheating? She's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no replays. You don't have to watch those. This is kind of like Bayley, but Bayley and Sasha. Okay.
And so...
Charlotte has Bayley rolled up and she grabs a handful of tights. Real awkward, like, Sasha's like, hey, she's holding the tights, and the ref is just like, this whole thing didn't work.
Yeah.
What they were trying to do, and it's just like, it was messy.
Sasha attacks
confusing.
Charlotte. Bayley hits the Bayley to belly. Charlotte kicks out. Charlotte rolls Bayley up, grabs the tights. Sasha's like, hey, ref, she's cheating. And the ref's like, oh, yep, you're right. Yeah. Break it up. Bayley hits the Bayley to belly again, pins Charlotte, and wins. And now Charlotte, again, this like Charlotte Flair, undefeated on pay-per-views, gone.
Wasn't she 16-0?
Yeah. Now that's gone.
Yeah.
That, I don't know why they didn't save that for Mania.
I don't know either. We all thought that Charlotte was getting her title back at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then at Mania, she would get pinned by somebody.
Probably Bayley.
Yeah,
and then not only does Bayley get to win at Mania, but also gets to break Charlotte's undefeated streak at Mania. Mm-hmm. But instead, it's just like the undefeated streak goes with this weird thing with Sasha, like for some reason not getting DQ'd for attacking Charlotte.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Weird, dude. I think that
I didn't like it. I did not like it.
The reason to pin Charlotte was to just get away from this streak, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I understand why they should have just saved it for WrestleMania.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like the right time to do this.
That's the only explanation I can think of. Like, as far as them saying, like, we got to get away from the streak. Let's just do it now. You know?
Yeah.
Like pulling a Band-Aid off.
I don't think that was the right call.
No. I don't think so either, but from like a fan standpoint, just from a storyline standpoint, I mean, it definitely got predictable. Like, Charlotte loses title matches on Raw, but the pay-per-view comes around and she gets her title back, right? Like, it was like, ugh, like, okay. But again, it felt so weird. 4 weeks away from WrestleMania, and they just do it now? Like, just, this is where I want to be a fly on the wall. Like this, whatever goes on backstage, like, and hear these conversations.
It should have been a no contest.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if Sasha comes out, then they call for a DQ, then Charlotte can get all huffy because she did the right thing in sending Dana to the back and Sasha still came out, but not at Bayley's behest. Then they can argue about it and have the match at Mania, and then Bayley can retain, which then kills the undefeated streak, because a DQ doesn't count Charlotte's streak.
Yeah.
Right? I would have booked it differently.
Yeah.
It just felt so weird, and it was so clunky, and the whole...
Clunky is a very good word
just like,
for this whole thing.
Ugh.
Just Sasha hitting Charlotte in front of the referee was just like...
And the ref's like, hey...
Are we savages? Like, we just... You know what I mean? Is there no rules?
Yeah.
Like, WWE just released a rule book for everyone
to
read. The rules are in paper.
Yeah. I want to read about that tag team rule where they can break up the pin once each. Because I'm pretty sure that's real.
You're pretty sure that's a thing?
Yeah, that like each
I need to see
each
this
team gets to break up a pin once.
I've never heard this rule.
I'm pretty sure that's legit.
Oh, that's great though. Yeah, one breakup.
So everyone's watching their clock here, and they're like,
Main event time.
and they're like, how much longer is there on this pay-per-view?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, and like Goldberg's entrance takes like 3.
Yeah.
Okay, because here we are, the main event, Goldberg
Yep.
challenging Goldberg, challenging
2017.
Kevin Owens
Yep.
for the WWE Universal Championship.
Okay.
Hi.
So,
Yeah.
bright spot.
Yeah.
Did you think this year you would be saying Goldberg fought Kevin Owens, former Kevin Steen, for the Universal title
No.
in the WWE?
Well, actually, this is my favorite part about the lead up to this is this promo that Kevin Owens cut. So after the Rumble, Goldberg comes out on Raw and is like, I want the title.
Yeah.
Hmm? And
It was pretty sweet though. Goldberg put himself on the list.
yeah,
That segment, he grabbed the list from Jericho and wrote his own name. I thought that was pretty great.
yeah. And so,
But basically, yeah, Goldberg just demands a title shot.
yeah.
And he's just like, all right. Well, I mean,
And well, Jericho is the one who's like, yeah, all right, sure. And Kevin's like, what the hell, man?
excuse me? Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
Baking powder?
And I guess we'll come back to Owens' promo in a second, because of course, what happens first, between Jericho accepting the fight against Goldberg on Kevin's behalf,
Yeah.
and this match at Fastlane, is an episode of Raw, live from Las Vegas, the Festival of Friendship.
Oh my God. I said on Twitter, this segment
Yeah.
is everything that's beautiful about wrestling.
Yeah.
This one
It
segment.
was so weird.
And it was awesome, and it was like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
We had spent 8 months.
Yeah.
8 months of the best friendship between dating back to before SummerSlam, because it was at SummerSlam where Jericho and KO teamed up and fought Enzo and Cass, right?
I think so, yeah.
That was the first time, or
I think
was
so.
it the pay-per-view before that?
Yeah.
I think it was at SummerSlam, and it was from then all the way looping around.
So yeah, the Festival of Friendship was that Jericho was like, we're going to have a Festival of Friendship to talk about how great our friendship is. And Kevin's like,
All right.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's Vegas.
To note, too, very important, there's a backstage segment at this Raw.
Yeah.
Triple H pulls aside Kevin Owens.
Just to talk to him for a sec.
And he wants to talk to him, and Jericho goes to go with him. He's like, oh, no, I just want to talk to Kevin. He's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So then he has this chat with Triple H, and immediately you're like, oh, no.
So Jericho comes out in a sequin vest and sequin trilby with Vegas showgirls.
It's so great.
They come down to the ring. Owens is there with the title, looking really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Jericho unveils a statue.
Yeah. What's the word he used? The sculptor. It's like a Guggenheimer or something like that.
Something like that. Some
Yeah.
sort of play off of like Guggenheim. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
He makes up some like European sculptor, and it's like this like two figures like sort of twisted around and looking at each other. It's like it's I would be uncomfortable if a friend got that for me.
Yeah. You're like,
And
hey,
they were like,
Graham.
yeah, I got this as a token of our friendship. I'd be like, this seems like more than friendship, which is great, but I'm not into it.
Yeah.
You know? And so Kevin's like, what is this? And Jericho's like, it's okay. You'll love the, you know, and he's basically doing like a, this is your life, except it's like a, this is our friendship sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
The piece de resistance. Jericho's like, oh, if you don't like this.
the creation of Kevin.
And then he's like, how about this? And he pulls this red velvet drape off this painting. And it's the creation of Kevin Owens.
it's the creation of man.
Yeah.
But instead of man and God, it's Kevin Owens and Jericho.
It's fucking awesome. And Jericho's like wearing his wrestling tights. Like he's just
Wait,
like,
no, Jericho's man. And Kevin Owens is God?
Yeah. So they're doing like the
touching
fingertips.
fingertips.
Yeah. And Jericho's like, yeah, you can have it. It's all yours. He's like, I can't hang this up in my house. Like, I have kids. They don't want it. They can't show them.
I can't show them this. That's weird.
Yeah. And then Jericho's like, okay. Well, I got a magician.
Oh,
And they
right.
bring out
Friendship the Magician.
and he does a couple things, and
they're not very good.
Not very good, and Owens isn't impressed, and Jericho puts Friendship the Magician on the list for not impressing his best friend, Kevin Owens.
He's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You are a bad magician. Get out of here. You're going on the list.
Yeah.
So then Kevin says, I got a present for you, and he opens it up, and Jericho is like overcome with emotion. He looks so happy.
Sorry, before this too, Jericho says like, he goes like very like what I would assume is just actual Chris Jericho, like the person talking.
Yeah.
Where he's like, this has been the best year of my life.
Yeah.
Like my career's been rejuvenated.
Our friendship has made my last year here one of the best ever.
It was awesome.
This has been so special.
Yeah.
And then he opens up the present, and he's getting like legit choked up, and he's like, it's a new list.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And then he picks it up, and you see on the back of it, it says the list of KO.
Yeah.
Just as Jericho says, wait, why is my name on the list?
And he lifts it up, and you see like the full shot.
The list of KO.
Like, no!
Everyone's like, no. Yeah, and then Owens just tackles him. And
beats him up.
Beats the tar
Throws him into as with every good breakup, throws him into a TV or a window or something.
Yep.
That's like, I think that's in the rule book.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. If you break up with somebody, like if this show ever breaks up, one of us is getting thrown.
I know,
into this
right? Someone's got to wheel a barbershop window in so one of us can get Janetti'd through it.
Yeah.
So the that all came crashing down.
Yep. That's it, man. And then the next week on Raw
is this amazing promo from Kevin Owens.
What'd you call it? Character defining.
Yeah, the character defining promo for Kevin Owens. It was spectacular. The show starts, and it's just Kevin Owens sitting in a chair in the middle of the ring with a spotlight.
How sick was it? It was like they announce Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
His music doesn't play.
Yeah.
It's black, and then bang, the spotlight comes on.
Yeah.
And it's Kevin Owens sitting in a chair.
Mm-hmm. It was really, really good. Well, just because what you were talking about with, can you imagine 2017, Bill Goldberg versus Kevin Steen, right? And he's like, if you told me that this is the situation I'd be in, I'd be like, well, of course I'm the champion defending my title in the main event of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's where I always assumed I would be.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a surprise.
So good.
The fact that I'm defending it against Bill Goldberg, who, by the way, Kevin Owens and Goldberg have been having an amazing Twitter fight.
And Goldberg's losing miserably.
It's not close.
Goldberg is not a good tweeter.
No, not close. And he's like, Bill Goldberg, I would be like, what?
Yeah.
Because this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Goldberg from WCW in 2017, challenging for the title of the main event of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And so he's like, sure, you beat Brock Lesnar in 1 minute and 26 seconds. Lesnar underestimated you. Mm-hmm. You surprised him. He had no idea what to make of you, and you caught him off guard.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than either of you. And I don't need to fight you. I just need to outsmart you. And I can and will do that. I need to outlast you. Because he's basically like, without outright saying it, he's basically saying, you're old and you will get tired.
Yeah.
And I just need to last longer than you. And I can do that. And this won't be a contest, and I will still be the champion. You can probably find this
segment on YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
You should go look it up.
It's a really, really good promo.
Brilliant.
And then at the end, he's like, and I suppose you're all wanting to know about why I did what I did to Chris Jericho. As far as Jericho's concerned, and he just drops the mic and leaves.
Yeah.
It was such a good promo.
First of all, positives. The faith that the company has in Kevin Owens to just give him like a 20-minute slot to open the show is an incredible vote of confidence.
Yeah.
So that's why even the build-up to this match and what happened, I was still like okay with everything because this progression from Kevin Owens coming in and being the character he was in NXT, and then the team up with Jericho happened, and he kind of just moved more into like a comedy role. And a lot of people felt like that didn't help his championship run.
Yeah.
I felt like it was fine. It was just showing us another side of this Kevin Owens character. And then after the Festival of Friendship, he just snapped right back into this old Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, yeah. I say old, but it's like a year old. It's not that old. But the previous Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all in on this character because he is so good at playing it.
Yeah.
The way he walks to the ring, the way he looks around at the crowd, the way that he does everything is just like, this is where I was like, fuck, I know they're not going to, just please let Kevin Owens win this match. Because this character is just, there's so much there to explore.
Yeah. Now, what were your guesses going in? Your like actual sort of percentages on
on him actually winning?
Retaining this?
I was like fucking less than 1%.
Yeah, I did not have high hopes that he would retain this.
No. I mean, I made a bold prediction on Twitter. I was like, KO's retaining tonight.
But on the strength of this promo,
yeah,
I had hoped for more.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about why.
I actually didn't think there was going to be much more than this. This is what was going to happen.
So it's the main event. By the way, I forgot to mention, because I know that some people will be curious. This is live from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Brought to you by Tap Out and Lego Worlds. Your main event of Fastlane 2017, Goldberg versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So Goldberg's ridiculous entrance. There's cheers, there's boos, but mostly cheers because it's Goldberg. Kevin Owens comes out. Owens kisses the title. Goldberg yells at him, "Kiss it goodbye, boy." I also love that Owens has just been calling him Bill the whole time. He's like, "Hey, Bill."
I think at one point while they're kind of circling each other, or like while they're trash talking, Kevin Owens calls him a piece of shit, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
So the bell hasn't rung. They're sort of facing off in the ring, and Owens immediately like drops down, rolls out of the ring, and just starts walking around to just sort of like play some mind games. And then he gets back in the ring, and he's like psychs himself up, and he's like, all right, here we go. And then drops down and rolls back out of the ring. Yeah. And Goldberg's like, okay, sure, whatever. And then he does it a third time. And commentary, and this is where I was starting to get hopeful, commentary even mentions that like that time, the third time, Goldberg started to look annoyed.
Yeah.
Right? And the ref still won't ring the bell, right?
It was at this point where I was like...
Goldberg gets back in the ring and is like, all right, let's do it. Ring the bell, ref. Ring the bell. 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 The ref does not ring the bell. Chris Jericho's music hits.
Well, it's like, no, the bell rings.
No, not yet.
It? Oh,
no,
it doesn't yet?
This is what pissed me off. Jericho's music, one of the things that pissed me off. Jericho's music hits.
Yeah.
Owens turns to the ramp. Jericho comes out in a brand new shiny jacket. A brand new iteration of the LED jacket. Yeah. Owens looks stunned at Jericho. Then the ref rings the bell. Immediately Goldberg pins Owens. Not pins, well, basically. Spears Owens. Owens is like, my everything. Goldberg picks him up. Jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, wins the title.
22 seconds.
Yeah. So here's a couple things that upset me about this.
Yeah.
During all the dicking around that Owens did, the ref never rang the bell. Owens gets in his corner and is like, all right, I'm ready. Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. And the ref is like, no. I got to make sure that everything's okay. And still won't ring the bell.
Yeah.
Jericho's music hits. Owens is like, what? And turns to the ramp. And then the ref is like, now's an appropriate time.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
And then just because of this whole promo about Owens' mind games, about what he was going to try and do, I was hoping for like...
Something.
You know? Just like an attempt to execute on his plan.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. He didn't get a single thing. He turns to Jericho, immediately gets speared, gets picked up, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, Goldberg wins.
Yeah.
It's just such a...
My less than 1%...
It's just such a letting an air out of the tire.
My less than 1% guess, if Owens won, was there was a promo when Bret Hart was in WCW. And Bret Hart was in a program with Goldberg.
Yeah.
And Bret Hart's out there and he's cutting this promo and he's wearing like a Calgary Hitman jersey. And Goldberg comes out and they talk trash for a while and Goldberg spears Bret.
Yeah.
And then immediately goes limp. And everyone's like, what the fuck happened? And Bret pulls a metal plate out that he was wearing. And I was like, less than 1%, that's what Owens does.
Oh, man.
Right?
That'd be amazing.
Right? Like, that was where I was like, if Owens wins this match, they should do that.
Because it would be so cool.
Fucking brilliant.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, they didn't.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad when this happened. I wasn't really upset. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for Kevin Owens because he's been so great for the last 8 months.
Yeah.
And even with the new old Kevin Owens coming back.
And to be clear, I wasn't upset that Goldberg won because I
don't give a fuck
couldn't
about Goldberg.
because I expected that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think Goldberg versus Lesnar needs the title. I don't think it was already a spectacle enough, but fine. Maybe it was part of Goldberg's deal that he actually gets to hold the title again. Who knows? Whatever. I didn't expect Owens to retain. And I didn't expect it to be anywhere of a decent match, right? Like, he beat Brock Lesnar in 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Yeah.
He dumped Lesnar out of the Royal Rumble almost immediately, right? I was not expecting this to be like a fair fight. Mm-hmm. I was just expecting anything other than what happened, which was nothing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I just
knew this was going to happen. Like,
yeah. The reason I say that is to be clear that when I say I was let down by this, it's not that I was let down that Owens didn't retain, or I was let down that it was a complete squash. That's fine. I accepted those. Mm-hmm. I was let down that that's all it was.
Yeah.
It was 22 seconds.
I'm mildly annoyed that 2 part-timers are fighting for the title, and one of the part-timers is going to be walking away with that title.
Yeah.
And it's like, when are we going to see the title again? Because it was just, I like having it around.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the Lesnar thing when he was the champion 2 years ago.
That was weird.
It was fine at the time, but it got real old real quick. Yeah. Because I feel like they weren't, the storylines without the title weren't good enough.
No.
So, and I don't have enough faith in them being able to do it again.
Yeah.
So, I understand why they did. Like, I mean, I have explanations to myself why they did a lot of stuff, and I understand why a lot of people are upset, because a lot of the decisions throughout this card were real fucking strange.
The whole card was weird.
But the wrestling was really good. Like, all the matches were good. In a vacuum, like, no storyline. Like,
yeah.
But the storyline stuff was bizarre.
Yeah. If 5 years ago you had said to me that in 2017,
yeah,
Jinder Mahal would have a singles match on a pay-per-view, I would have been very surprised.
He's looking ripped, by the way.
Dude.
He's looking veiny.
You cannot hinder the Jinder. He is a vascular man.
Is that what he said before? Was that his old?
I don't know if that's him or the subreddit.
He can't hinder Jinder. That's great,
dude. Yeah, he is buff.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But we're going to WrestleMania.
The following night on Raw, Chris Jericho came out.
Yeah.
And I said this to you on Slack. This promo from Jericho. He's very, very somber, and he's like, Kevin Owens stabbed me in the back of Jericho. Twisted in, man. Just like really, really flat, really deadpan delivery.
It's so brilliant.
It's just like,
and the crowd didn't even react.
No.
I was like, how are you not fucking popping for that? I was like, at home watching by myself. I was like, yes.
He delivered it too flat.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was brilliant. But yeah, so Owens came out and they were like...
He actually explained why he did it. Oh, also, Kevin Owens said this strange thing where he was like, I'm not worried about the Universal title because I've been told that I can have a rematch wherever and whenever I want.
Nice.
Which sounds Money in the Bank-ish.
Yeah, it does.
I know they probably won't do it that way, but just the way he's delivered it was like, I can do it wherever and whenever I want, so...
Yeah.
He called Chris Jericho, he used him as a tool because when they even shouted back to when Kevin Owens first won the Universal title, and he was like, Triple H told me, like, I need someone to watch my back.
Yeah.
And you were gullible.
Yeah, and he says that he's been working Jericho from the beginning. He's like, look at Sami Zayn. We were best friends for 14 years, and I turned on him.
Yeah.
You think we were ever friends? No, I was using you the entire time.
Yeah.
And so they sort of argue back and forth, and they decide that they're going to have a match at WrestleMania for Jericho's U.S. title. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, sweet. And then they sort of start coming to blows in the ring, and Samoa Joe comes out.
Yeah.
Because now Owens and Joe are both sort of like working for Triple H, and they both attack Jericho. But then, so rarely do you get to say an actual like, oh, it's so-and-so with a steel chair. But Sami Zayn with a steel chair runs in, because of course Sami and Samoa Joe have been having trouble, and they fight, and then they have a tag team match later that night, because Jericho is now, I guess, a face, because he doesn't like Kevin Owens. So, sure, okay, all right, fair enough. And then Goldberg comes out later, and is like, yeah, I have the title, so now I'm fighting Lesnar for the title.
I really wish that's the way he gave that promo. Like,
yeah, I have the title. I'm Bill Goldberg. Hello. I have the title. No, instead he just, they have a mic on him when he walks the ring, and he's like,
he does weird things.
Just weird snorts. And anyway, he comes out, Heyman comes out, and he's like, I'm not so stupid that I'm going to come into the ring with you, not without this guy. And Lesnar shows up.
Hey, Lesnar's back. I've never been so happy to see Lesnar. I'm actually like, you know how I mentioned before that my honeymoon with Lesnar is kind of over it? It's coming back now. Because I'm just like, now that he's lost, it's like, okay, he's not invincible anymore. It's just like, you can be Lesnar. So kick his ass, Lesnar.
they're nose to nose in the ring, and Goldberg is like, he's not backing down. He looks like he's ready for Lesnar at any moment. And Heyman's just rambling, just talking. And then Heyman makes this comment about how, like, after WrestleMania, when Brock walks out, you'll be known as Brock's bitch. And that makes Goldberg go, like, just look to his side, like, the hell did you just say? And that is enough of an opening for Lesnar to tackle him F5 and completely wind Goldberg.
Shoutouts to Bill Goldberg for not dropping the title while getting an F5.
Yeah.
By the way, he had it like on his shoulder still.
Yeah. But he sold it too. So it's like, aha, Goldberg can be beaten by an F5. Yeah. So it's what's going to happen first, the F5 or the spear? It's Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania.
The main event, they're going last.
I guess they have to, don't they?
They're going last.
Even though they have been, for weeks on SmackDown, they've been referring to the heavyweight title match as the main event of WrestleMania.
This is one of those, like, it's like Roadblock.
Yeah.
There's
4 main events.
6 main
events.
No main events. Sorry, I know they were in Chicago for Raw. Can you stop chanting CM Punk, please?
Yeah, like, I like him too, but, like, come on.
During, like, the women's segment and stuff like that?
Yeah. There was a guy in the YouTube comments last time, and that I think was like a meta irony joke about if you say you like CM Punk,
then you're an idiot.
I think so. I think it was a meta irony joke thing. Like, whatever.
Shows that guy.
But yeah, like, he had a really good run. He was a good character. Anyway.
And then the only other notable thing that happened this week was main event time. Braun Strowman is out in the ring and he's like, Roman Reigns, you get out here right now.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns' music starts, and then we get the fucking gong. The Undertaker comes out.
Yeah.
I got fucking chills. I thought this episode of Raw was fantastic, by the way. I feel like Raw's been good for weeks.
It was a good episode of Raw.
And
Undertaker gets in the ring, just stares down Strowman, who's like, I'm just going to reverse out of the ring and go away.
And again, a lot of people were upset about this because Braun Strowman, it's the fucking Undertaker.
Come on,
let's be honest. Everybody backs down from the Undertaker. That wasn't even...
Well, except for, because then Undertaker's like, all right, cool. Then his music hits again and he starts to leave. Then Roman Reigns' music hits and Roman Reigns comes out and is like, this is my yard now, old man, basically.
Yeah.
Setting up that Reigns and Taker are going to have a match at Mania.
Well, they
presumably
they do the shot where it's Roman and Taker staring down, and then they have the WrestleMania sign in the background.
And they both like turn and look at the sign.
They both turn and look at the sign, and that was like commentary immediately. They didn't agree to anything, and a commentary immediately was like, "Well, it looks like it's going to be settled at WrestleMania." It's like, okay, yeah, fine. But sure. Undertaker chokeslams Roman Reigns, which is awesome, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually excited for this matchup. I think Roman's winning, but Roman's gonna win. Roman's gonna beat the Undertaker
and potentially retire him.
Oh, yeah.
What else can Roman do? Roman's had every other accomplishment.
Do you think this is the heel turn though? Because they know they're not going to cheer Roman. Like, we're cheering Undertaker over Roman.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what to make of anything.
Everyone always says this is Roman's heel turn every week.
Hasn't happened yet.
Anyway, WrestleMania!
It's the ultimate thrill ride. I
feel like WrestleMania is going to be like 8 hours long.
It kind of has to be at this point. I mean, I got to say, underwhelmed by Fastlane, but I'm curious with a lot of storylines going forward. Since the next one is WrestleMania, like everything that's happening on SmackDown is great.
I'm behind. I have to catch up.
Oh, it's so good, and so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everything come together and how they decide to just where this all goes. Why they decided to pull all these plugs now and not at Mania. So I don't know, man. We'll see. But that's it for Fastlane and the Raw following it. And so I guess the next one will be WrestleMania, which is like a month away.
Oh, 4 weeks.
Which is totally fine as far as I'm
Gives me
concerned.
time to catch up and stuff.
So until next time, Adam is on Twitter.
Yes, I am.
Wake Up Super.
Yeah, and Graham is on Twitter. At Graham_LRR.
And all of this, Sidewalk Slam and everything else that we do on this channel or on our streams is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun, or if you subscribe to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/LoadingReadyRun, where we do all of the streams.
Something different every day.
Yeah. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and talk, and just hang out.
Give me your Christopher Daniels matches.
Yeah.
And who is kicked out of Roman Spear. That's your homework. You know, I could probably Google it, but fuck that. It's more fun to wait.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
See you next time.
See ya.